Okay, so let's state the obvious. I cut my hair. But man, y'all are not gonna believe what I have done. I have hopped my ass on a plane to Turkey to get a blepharoplasty and a hair transplant. Come with me and let's talk about it. Next on the GATURKS show. So let's start with a little story time. So all of my life, you guys have witnessed me having, a regular bald fade on YouTube since I got started. But, then I started growing my hair. And along the way, I noticed that I was having problems in the back. The hair just was not growing as fast as the rest. And having, twists and plaits and two strands really kind of hid the damage that was going on with my hair. But then recently, I decided to give me some straight backs. And boy, it was obvious that my hairline was completely receding. I was like, oh man. I have a homeboy who actually had a hair transplant, and we would talk all the time, man. And he said that getting a hair transplant was the best money he ever spent. So, kind of traumatized by my new reality, I realized that maybe it was time. So I started doing my research, and before you know it, Facebook algorithm was flooding my timeline with options. I learned that overseas in Turkey, the prices were a fraction of what we pay in the USA. I settled on a clinic called Eyelid, and it wasn't until later that I discovered that it was the same facility that my boy had went to. So, that was cool, but it was purely coincidental. After communicating with them and sharing pictures on WhatsApp, they were able to get me taken care of. Told me about the grafts and the procedures and all of that, and they were gonna hook me up for like $3,500. I started looking more into their facilities because you got to do that, and I learned that they do a whole bunch of other stuff. So the other things that I knew I had an issue with was under eye bags. It was something I had dealt with for a very long time, and getting older, of course, it just kind of adds to that thing. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and take care of this too. So they were able to hook me in for like, I don't know, I think it was like $1,500. They were gonna do the upper and the lower surgery and get me taken care of. So that was a win. I said, yo, let me go ahead and knock this out. I got my tickets, got my passport, and boom, I was on my way. My greatest fear was traveling over the North Atlantic Ocean. I have a healthy fear of large bodies of water. So for some reason, seeing that they had these televisions really calmed me. It kind of comforted me that they had charges too. It's a 12-hour flight, and for some reason I thought I would lose charge. Not that I haven't been on a plane before, but the way this was set up was just comforting for me. So, every little bit counts. And on the televisions, you can see your location, exactly where you are, and follow the plane on its route. You gotta know that tracking this for the first time and seeing the water and the route that we had to take was a little bit nerve-wracking given my fear. But when I found out that they had all kind of movies and stuff for us to watch, I was right back on track again. And let me tell you, I don't know what kind of monitors these are. This pad or whatever this is showed excellent. The picture was incredible. I was shocked. Maybe it was because it was dark or whatever. I'm not sure what it was, but I've got to get me one of these, whatever this is. The picture was full of color and saturated and nice. Had a chance to finally check out Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and discovered that it did not end the way everybody talked about it ending. And I was like, man, I held off on this classic. Now, I'm a fan. So when I made it, Eyelid, the medical clinic, had me all laced up. They had my hotel reservations. They had a driver to come and pick me up in a van. It was totally laid out. I didn't have to do any work where it pertains to those type of reservations. When I got here, I thought it was raining or something, but it was actually turning into nighttime. There's an 8-hour time difference, so when it's nighttime here, it's just starting daytime in the USA. Now I was surprised just how fast night actually came, but I had to show y'all this, man. Do you see this? We are on the freeway, and they have trees separating the partitions of the freeway. I was like, Who is cutting these trees when it's time? Do you see that? These are actual trees separating the freeway. Yo, it tripped me out. I was like, never saw that before. I finally made it to my room and I couldn't figure out how to turn the lights on. And then I realized that you have to put your room card key inside of this little slot by the door. If you remove the card, the lights go out. And I had never experienced that. So I'm sharing it with y'all so you know. Man, after such a long trip, I was just happy to finally be in a place where I could just kind of relax and settle into being into a whole new country. You know, I had never experienced anything like this. So I'm just like, yo, let me just settle in for the night. Let me tell you, the next morning they called and was like, have you had a chance to eat breakfast? Because we had to get up early. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. We have breakfast for you. So I got in the van excited about this breakfast. And boy, when I got there, let me show y'all what they had for us. Hot tea and a cheese toast sandwich. I'm not gonna front, I was a little upset, but it was so good. Maybe I was just hungry. And then I made it on to the clinic floor. It was really nice on the inside, man. The staff was so friendly and ready for me. And then we had our first consultation. They sat me down and used the EH3000 to show me my scalp and all my hair fibers. Kind of creepy, but cool. So because I'm a content creator, they asked me if I wouldn't mind speaking and give them a shout out for their Instagram post. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So they introduced me to their social media coordinator. She was really nice. They got me all ready and prepped, and they wanted me to just speak about what I had gone through and my experience for a before and after. It was really cool. Lord, look at the bags under my eyes. But this is me after they removed the hair grafts from the donor area to be put into the area that has to be patched in and patched up. The only painful part was having the needle stuck inside your scalp to numb the area so they can get the hair grafts out of your head. So this is after the procedure. This is me after they did the actual transplant of all the little hair grafts into the balding area. My scalp was completely numb, so I couldn't really feel anything. But this is what it looks like when they freshly put in the grafts, which are the actual roots that they pulled out of your donor area and inserted into the roots of your balding area. All right, now, so as you see, I got my hair done, and I don't know, I feel like, well, my forehead is swollen right now, so I got the case of the big head, big forehead. As you can see, it's swollen right up in here. I got the back of my head too done. I don't know if you guys can see that. I didn't really want to have to turn around, but the back is done too. So I think my stuff started like way back here and now it's down. Now I wanted them to come down a little bit further, but you know, this is clean, it's done now. So it's healing up nicely. And you guys probably can't see it because of the lighting that I have, but I have bags, heavy bags under my eyes. Ever since I was young, I've always had bags. And so the good thing is that the lighting kind of takes it away, but it's clearly obvious when there is no lighting. So I'm gonna have them to kind of remove the bags and kind of do I forget what you call this, like a blepharophy or something, blepharophy or something. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. And then I'm gonna get the upper and the bottom done so that this meat won't be hanging over my eyelids. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm off to do it now. All right, and I'll come back and kind of show you guys what the after effects are. All right, bye. Getting it done. Woo. Okay, y'all, so I am back from getting my transconjunctive blepharoplasty. I had to remember that. And that is where they take I think it's like a laser, go inside of the bottom of your eye and make a little slit with the laser, and then they pull out the fat or whatever that is inside of your bottom eyelid so that you can get the bags removed, and also had the upper done as well. So I had to check and see if I had the little mark that is sealed up with the laser, and it was doing just fine until I decided to check for it. So anyway, I checked for it, and yeah, I saw it in this eye, and I thought I saw it in this eye as well, but I won't know until later on how it all works out. But for right now, I have no super swelling. It's not painful. Everything seems to be working out just fine. I was ready to wake up bruised and eyes swollen, but that hasn't been my scenario right now. So I just came back. It was a lengthy process. It took, maybe because they had so many people, but it took a while for them to do it. As you know, I also had my hairline done as well while I'm here in Turkey. They are so right, man. It's so much cheaper here. I was just thinking that if the USA, if people are flying here to get their work done for way cheaper, and they're like charging in America like $25,000, and over here they're charging like $3,000, $1,200, and so that means that if everybody's running over here, they're missing out on a whole lot of money in the USA. Not to mention that I wonder, the black community, man, we spend a lot of money on products for hair, over $1 billion every year. Like, I don't know how many billions, but it's a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot. And so I was just thinking, for right now, there's just a light, everybody that I saw was a bunch of men and a bunch of black men going to this one clinic. And it's just everybody, it's like the men know. And they're just running over here and they're getting the work done. We're tired of our receding hairlines going all the way back. It just took me a second to really realize that, your hairline is really receding. So, my braids or the plaits or the whatever it was not a complete look. And I wanted a complete look. Or I wanted to have just a full growth of hair. I realized that I could grow hair, but I didn't realize that I was, having the issue with the receding hairlines. And oftentimes when people do your hair anyway, they kind of pull it back or they don't take care of it. And it's a whole problem, especially if you get the wrong people braiding or plaiting or doing your hair. So I was just thinking that once our women get a hold of this, because they're always talking about edges, they're always talking about hair loss, alopecia. It's a real thing, and women are losing their hair just like men are. So boy, once the women, our culture get a hold of this, it's gonna be a game changer. Hopefully we can then move past this wig phase. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's becoming like a whole cookie cutter situation. As far as my eyes are going, I'm really glad. I heard that this was a newer technique. I've had bags under my eyes ever since I was a child, and as you age, things can get a little worse. And I really, really, really wanted to get rid of it, and I just took advantage of it. And so I'm so happy to finally see what I look like without bags under my eyes. Now the lighting helps a lot to kind of hide that, but in person, it's there. And so I noticed that, they exposed to me, of course, probably for the money, but it's cheaper here, way cheaper here. That my eyelids were drooping over, so I could get those, get that extra skin removed. And I went back. The beauty of having YouTube is that you can go back to a time when, YouTube started and you were making videos. Thank you so much. And you could see what you looked like back then. So I think I have videos that are as old as 16 years old, and I just went back to those videos. And it's so funny because when I started doing YouTube, it was specifically for that reason, so that my future self could go back and see my younger self. I was making videos of my younger self for my future self. I've always had a super hyper awareness of these type of things. So dude, it worked out just fine, and I was so happy to go back and be able to see myself. I never knew that it would be for something like this, but having those videos from back then captures a special time of your mindset, how you looked, how you were, weight gain, skin changes, all of that stuff. So it was very, 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 very helpful for me to be able to have that, those footages from YouTube. And that's kind of why I hate that things have gotten the way that they are on YouTube. It's hard to be a partner on there now. Just got word that they increased their partnership qualifications, whereas it used to be 4,000 hours a month or something like that, or a year, 365 days of watched hours. Now it's 8,000. They're just doing everything they can to keep the videos coming and keep the people working for as cheap as possible. So while I'm in Turkey, I get to experience some stuff I never experienced before. This, boys and girls, is my bathroom. Now, you've been in the bathroom before, and this is my view. Beautiful view. It's beautiful out here in Turkey. But this, boys and girls, is a bidet. Not a toilet, but a bidet. You know, you can flush it like here. And then I was like, well, what is this little knob here for? Turn it in. Oh! Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise! Oh!